It's so wonderful to have everyone, come back, and then we're going to talk about truth. Last week we spoke a beautiful subject and knowledge that we gained on the wisdom sharing, on chakras and our soul evolution path. Right? It is such a wonderful, wonderful topic. It helps us to understand where we are, how we are progressing, and what we need to do to go to the next level. And today we're going to come back and talk about truth. Truth is one. Right? There are two aspects to the truth. We spoke about it some time back, that it is absolute truth and relative truth. We are living in this society. Everything that has to do with this world, we said it's all about relative truth. And anything that is to do with your consciousness or the higher awareness as to how you need to, what is your goal, how you need to lead your life to get there, that is all absolute truth. Both are truth, but there is significant difference. One is temporary, the other one is permanent. One is not real, other one is real. One gives you the peace and happiness, other one gives you the worldly miseries and sorrow and whatnot you're looking for, worldly passions, and hence comes with a lot of baggage. So there is a lot of confusion, I would say, number one. Number two, the depth of understanding. It is because that we do not comprehend the full length and breadth of the real truth, which is absolute truth, that we tend to make ourselves aligned to the relative truth. What happens is, when we are living in this relative truth, it is so happens because of the illusion. We think that the relative truth is the absolute truth. For example, I look at my body and I think that my body is going to be there permanently. I'm going to live here forever. And hence, I'm going to take care of my body. But in reality, the body is going to go. My body is going to stay. It's going to stay for some time. But eventually, it has to go. So what happens? My relative truth, quickly, at the time when I'm ready to leave my body, helps me understand that, okay, this is not permanent, but there is something more to it. And then that's how I leave the body. Like that, all the worldly pleasures that we are accumulating in our life is all about this relative truth. There are two aspects to this relative versus absolute truth that we have to understand as a meditators, as a spiritual, talkers, walkers, and spiritual practice that we are inculcating in our lives. I want to be a spiritual aspirant. I want to get to truth, truth seekers, whatever may be the type of journey that we have brought into our lives. We all have to understand that the ultimate reality is only the absolute truth. That is the culmination of everything. Whatever may be the drama that is happening in this world right now, everything will change. Everything will fall off at some point or other. But the holder, where the drama is happening, that is still there. That consciousness, what we call, that is unseen, that you cannot see it, that you cannot hear it, that you cannot taste it, but yet it is everywhere. That is what we need to experience. How is this possible? Let's take an analogy that you have a big board, whiteboard, right? In the school, kids, the teachers talk about this big spaced whiteboard. And then on that whiteboard, you write so many different things. You write words, you put diagrams. The math teacher comes and does something. The science teacher will do something. You will have a lot of English teacher will like the literature. There's a lot of language teachers will come in their language. That whiteboard is there as a permanent. But your teachers are coming with a different mindset or different knowledge, and they are portraying that on that space. If you take that analogy into the absolute truth, in the same token, what is happening is the absolute truth is the source of everything that is happening in this world. The relative part is coming and going. Like the teacher trying to draw something on the board and erasing it. In a similar way, our life is happening on that whiteboard. Another example is projector. The projector and the screen. The screen that you are seeing is the absolute truth, and the projection, all that's getting projected, the movie, the characters, the dialogues, the sceneries, the edges, everything, whatever you are looking at is the drama. And that drama is nothing but relative truth. In this very moment, what does it matter? The relative truth. In the far moment, what is the ultimate? It is the absolute truth. So when we talk about existence, when we talk about the manifestation, when we talk about anything that has to do with mind, we relate it. We bring that and relate it to worldly effects. That's why mind is world. Mind, as long as you have a mind, you have a world. You have a mind, you have family. You have mind, you have passions. You have mind, you have job. You have mind. Everything in this world has to do with mind. But there is one thing that is beyond mind. That is absolute truth. Right? Whatever my orientation in terms of my life, in terms of my appearance, in terms of my living standards, in terms of my passions or habits or hobbies or whatever I bring on, everything is relative truth. It has nothing to do with absolute truth. When we start to reorient our views, our values, our ideas, our thoughts, thereby changing our vision of truth and manifestation, that's when you get into the absolute truth. Everything in my life, whatever is happening, in everyone's life, whatever is happening, it starts with a thought. Can anybody deny that? Everything. My death is a thought, my birth is a thought, my living is a thought. Anything I have right now, I hold to myself is a thought. Anything I'm letting go is a thought. Hey, so and so person in my family passed away. It's a thought. You got that. Right? You've been told by someone, and then you instill it here, and then you start to get the feeling, and then you create an emotion, and then you go through the drama. Right? So when you try to express it, it is not it. That's why when you talk about absolute truth, truth expressed is truth expired, is what they say. Truth expressed is truth expired. What does it mean? There is no way you will be able to talk about absolute truth, because that which is there everywhere, that which is governing this entire universe or the formation, whatever you are seeing with your senses, with experiencing with your mind, intelligently you're able to grasp the subject with your intelligence, all that is coming out of this relative truth. It has nothing to do with absolute truth. So the very existence of you is relative truth, because my body, my mind, my intelligence, my senses, everything is relative truth. In this very moment they are acting this way, in the next moment they act something different. While you are having this beautiful thought that you wanted to sit with your family and have a wonderful meal, you have got a phone call and somebody is saying that, hey, we have got so and so going on, can you come and take over us, or we have a situation going on, can you come and help us around? What is happening between this beautiful thought? You have a very different thought that came into you. So everything starts with a thought, and that thought is the source for relative truth. Now when we talk about truth, that the relative, the absolute truth, always understand that when you talk about enlightenment, when you talk about liberation, when we talk about freedom, we talk about peace, happiness, that is all at absolute level. Now you can ask the question that, okay, in a relative side, can I not have the permanent peace or happiness or sorrow free state and all? You cannot. You will have, yes. If I start to eat one apple, I will start to enjoy the apple. If I eat 5 of them, I'll start to puke. Right? Anything that is materially oriented has a limit. But the unlimited happiness, unlimited peace, unlimited sorrow-free life will only come when we touch the consciousness within us, which is the absolute living. That's why truth cannot be expressed, but can only be lived. You probably have heard about this. Truth cannot be expressed, but only be lived. Right? No inhibitions, no expressive, feelings that you bring in with truth. You cannot view, you cannot view it from this perspective, that perspective. You cannot put any kind of logic to it. It is beyond the logic of the logics. When you get into that state of being, that is when you call absolute truth. And our goal is to get there. Now, let's talk this fundamental aspect as to why I am doing meditation. Anyone talk about it? Why are we doing meditation? What is the purpose?
To find out absolute truth.
To find out absolute truth. Why? What is there to find out?
To get to it, I mean.
You are already that what you're looking for. What is there to get to? It's not outside. So, anyone else? This is a very fascinating subject when you talk to go deeper into the discussion between the relative truth and absolute truth. A lot comes around. So the simple way to look at it is absolute truth, relative truth, both are in existence for me. The only thing that's different is I do not have the awareness of the absolute truth, while I do have awareness, connection, alertness, whatever you call it, relative truth. I'm able to see my family, I'm able to see things, I'm able to connect to everything that is happening around me in a relative way. Because I need to talk to someone, I need a phone. That's a relative way. Right? Using your phone, you're able to talk to someone. Using your email, you're able to communicate to someone. Using your laptop, you're able to draw things out for your friends or buddies or whatever you're trying to do. Right? So every medium that you are leveraging to be able to transmit or communicate or share or exchange, all of that is happening based upon the relative truth aspect of it. But what is permanent within this relative change? Everything that you are moving from one to other, this to that, that to this and all, is the absolute truth. Now, my journey, our journey of meditation is to realize our state of absoluteness. That is the purpose of meditation. Meditation brings me back into my natural state. I'm going to let go of my false illusion and come back to my natural state. That is the purpose of meditation. So what happens is when I start to, so for that to happen, what needs to happen is all the relativity aspect of my system has to die out. Annihilate, right? They have to be gone. They should be there, but I should not have anything to do with it, or I should not have any attachment towards it. I should not have any expectations from that. My senses will be operating, my body is operating, my mind is operating, my intelligence is operating, but yet I do not have anything to do with them. If I am doing it at that level, then you are getting into that absolute state, because now you are realizing that, hey, I am not the one doing it, it's been happening through me. Right? So how do I get out of that state? How do I get out of my relative state to that absolute state? Is where is that absolute state? That absolute state is everywhere. But why am I not able to see it? The requirement for that is you have to first see that in your own self. In your own system, you have to experience it. That's why we say truth has to be lived. The absolute truth has to be lived. The absolute truth cannot be expressed, because when you are trying to express that consciousness, you have lost it. Right? So how do I try to bring it back? How do I reset myself? How do I reconnect to my own self? How do I re-establish my identity? How do I bring back my old natural state? That is all meditation. So for those of you who are doing meditation, the purpose of meditation is to bring back your identity, to know that you are in charge of everything. You are not slave to anything. You are the master. That's why we call in PSS and society, Patriji said, you are all masters. To begin with, you are a master. But my perception and my reality, the way illusional life that I have brought to myself, I'm thinking that I am a slave. Every small thing is really bothering me. Why? Because I have lost my identity. Right? When we say love is the essence of truth, how do you live that standards, right? How do you live by those standards? How do you live by that code of absolute truth? Is when you express it genuinely from your heart, right? So how do I do that? Is when you go back and then you become what you are. You are, two things are happening simultaneously. One, you are letting go what you are not, and you are going back to what you are to begin with. Both are happening simultaneously in meditation. That's why it requires patience, it requires commitment, it requires seriousness, it requires sincere effort. Only those seekers who have seriousness and they are sincere in the attempt will reach that state of consciousness, that state of absoluteness. Others will fade away in time. You may be doing meditation for a number of years. It doesn't really matter how long you have done it if you have not realized that state of you, who you are. And if you're not able to live by that code of who you are, then there is still work that needs to happen, right? So if I bring this perspective into my life, now there is no question of me doing meditation or not doing meditation. If I bring back my identity, I have infinite peace, I have unlimited happiness, I am in sorrow-free state, I have freedom. What else do I need to live the life though? Is there anything else that I need? I don't. But where we are stuck is, we are stuck with money. We are stuck with, wealth. We are stuck with power. We are stuck with name and fame. What happens? The outcome of name and fame, money, wealth, is sorrow. The outcome of it is sorrow. Today you may have something that you will enjoy, but when your time is up, then you will feel sorry for yourself that you have lost it. You had the touch, but you cannot live through it, because everything that you're touching is relative in nature and it's temporary. So what we need is, we need the understanding of that absolute truth, what masters have talked about, and a bit of an experience that you are going through every night in your deepest state of sleep. That experience, you need to get it in your meditation state. Whether you're getting it in a meditation state or you're getting it outside, that's a different thing. But whatever it is, when we say absolute truth, the truth is outside the reach of your mind. The absolute truth is outside the reach of your mind. How do I even know if my mind is not operating? How do I know? A lot of us have this confusion, or maybe some kind of unknown fear within us, that if I lose my identity, then I'm no longer there. my family may not remember me. I may not remember my family. I may lose things, I may forget things, But in fact, you are going to have a much better life when you lose your false identity. The false identity has to go. And the best way to let it go is meditation. Right? What you get in search of truth is truth alone. There is nothing else there. Truth alone. Only requirement is you have to stand by the truth. Don't fall for things that will drag you out from the truth. As you go and walk on a path, you probably will see a lot of shrubs, a lot of mud, a lot of dust, a lot of distractions will be there in your path. You should not get distracted. You should focus straight into your destiny or your goal, whatever you are trying to get. Then what happens when I sit in meditation? I am in that state of being, in that state of absoluteness, in that state of serene truth, right? Beyond the state of mind. What happens is truth manifests itself. You're not trying to manifest anything at that point. It just simply happens. We will realize that what we are looking for is what we are to begin. The persons, the people, the humans is in search of God will realize that he himself is a God. The person who is searching for God is a God by himself. When do I get that realization? When I go deeper in my state of being. So what happens? How meditation is helping me? Meditation is helping me to let go of the attachments, let go of the expectations, let go of the relative truth that I brought to myself, and allowing me to go into my natural state of being. When I am in the natural state of being, everything that is coming along, everything, even the medium that you are using, like your cell phone, your eyeglasses, your clothes, everything becomes same. There is no difference. That's why masters say, like the way you wear your shirt and take it out, like the way you wear your body and you take it out. There is no difference. You go out, you wear your shirt, you come out, you come home, you take off your shirt. Similarly, you wear the body, you come here, you do your things, you leave, you let go your body. That's it. It's as simple as that. When truth reveals itself means that's how it is. Any action you're doing, any thought that you are instigating or it's coming your way, or any feeling or emotion that you're bringing in, you are in absolute awareness that that is not you. It's unreal. Right? To the very understanding of it means that you are standing apart from it. You're not with it. The entire world is there and you are the one watching it. Like we were talking the other day about this simple example, right? Who is the one seeing? The seer. Right now I'm seeing all of you here. Who is the one seeing inside me? The seer. That is absolute truth. Everything else is relative truth. I'm in this class, we have a session, we are talking about truth as a wisdom. I'm connecting to you guys, you are listening to me, there is a voice going on. All this is relative truth. But what is truth of all it? The one that is seeing everything, the one that is hearing. Who is hearing? Who is knowing that you are here within you? That is conscious. That is absolute truth. So when we bring this perspective, right? When I start to bring that perspective into my life, when I do meditation, what is happening now is you are disconnecting yourself from the things does not really add value in your life. There is so much of baggage that we carry with us, whether it is with friends, whether it is with family, whether it is with emotions, whether it is with past life karmas, whatever it is a baggage that you're carrying. You are drained, you are dragged by this baggage all the time, whether it is mental activity, physical activity, or something happening in the emotional state, all that is a baggage that you're carrying. That baggage has to be gone. How do I let it go? If you say that, hey, anger don't come to me, it is not going to go away. It will continue to haunt you. In fact, it actually goes up. That anger will come to you multiple times. Even you're doing it one time today. If you say anger don't come to me, it become 3 times or 5 times. How do I bring that change within me? Every one of us know about this. Every one of us know that we are living in the false reality. Every one of us know that we need to practice meditation. Every one of us know that our lives are not the way you envision. Each of us have a vision, an ideal vision, that how we want to live the life, but we are not living that life. Why is that? Anyone? Why is that? It's a good seasoned question.
We are still attached to a lot of things. We are not completely detached.
Completely detached. That's right. Why is that? Why is that you're not completely detached? When you know everything, right? You know the truth.
Yeah.
You know how to live the truth. You know what to practice the truth. You understood the truth. But yet, why that detachment is not? What is there? And then when somebody comes and tells us, we say, I know about it. I knew this long time back. Why is that? Go ahead, try it. It's a good topic to discuss. I want to hear different perspectives.
Can you repeat the question again?
So what I was saying is, you know about the truth, you live in the truth, you understand the truth, right?
Mm-hmm.
You are practicing the truth, in a way, and yet you have not come out of it. You are still figuring it out, right? And someone tries to tell you about the truth, you say, I know about it. I know a long time back, I've heard about it. What is going on? Why is that I'm not able to embrace that truth and become one with it? Why is it taking so much time, effort, energy, whatever we call? There is the lack.
We are not understanding the truth still. Or we are not in the truth.
Exactly. You are spot on, madam. You are spot on. We think that we understand it. You cannot see what masters and scriptures are saying is, you cannot understand. Your mind cannot comprehend truth. When your mind cannot comprehend truth, what you are trying to do is, you are trying to bring the truth in your state of mind. You will never be able to get that. Truth stays as it is. There is no alignment to truth. You just have to live by it. That's it. If I try to put a logic to understand it, your logic will fail. What I am trying to do is, with my limited capacity of my mind, I'm trying to look at that infinite truth or absolute truth, and then saying that, okay, maybe this is truth, maybe that is truth, maybe this is how it is, maybe this. That's why I've never understood the real essence of what truth is all about. Since I do not have that full picture, the big picture, the 360-degree view of the truth, what is happening is, I am perceiving, I am thinking that, okay, this is truth. That's why I'm living by that in that moment. And what I'm trying to do is, when I'm living in that moment about that very truth, two things are happening. I'm totally forgetting the real truth that's out there, and I'm totally immersed in this truth that is not real. Simultaneously, they're happening. right? If you observe it, when you are doing something with passion, what happens is you're so connected in that unit of work, whatever you are trying to do, that you have lost yourself, right? And then you're so passionate, you're able to explain it. This is what it is, that is what it is, the true work and whatever you do that, right? But what happens a few minutes later, you start to realize that, hey, whatever I did just now is not the one that I am, right? Why am I getting so passionate? Why am I getting so attached? Why am I getting so emotional? Why am I getting so irrational? Because you've got so much, you kind of, put yourself into it and you become that. When I bring that absolute truth into my life, what happens is you will still do everything what we just said. Only thing is you will never become that. You will always understand that you will stand apart from that what you are doing in that very moment. I'm talking to you. You are listening to me. But we both know that talking and listening are happening not at the state of absoluteness. They are happening at the state of relativeness. Yes, they are truth, relative truth, but not absolute. This talk alone is not going to give me the real happiness, because what truth expressed is truth expired. Our talk does not have the authority, nor your listening has the authority to take you and put you into the truth. There is the truth only in your living. That's it. You have to live by the truth. That's it. So where this connection has to come is my understanding has to be solid to a point where I can bring that into practice. Today, we all can say that, okay, I understand truth. I know about truth. I know what Patriji said. I know why this society was formed. I know that a lot of different variations happening around, everybody talks about everything, there are like so many masters out there. Everybody has got their experiences. Everyone is giving their own wisdom, in connection to the truth and all that. Do we really see that there are so many wisdoms for truth, or there is only one truth? If there is only one truth, that's what, right? The absolute truth is only one and only one. Then why are that you have so many variations of it? Because what I perceived truth is not the truth, the real truth. In my experience, I have gained something. I got something. I got astral travel. So what I'm thinking is this astral travel is a truth because I experienced it. Yes, you experienced it, but it is relative truth. How many of us have understanding of it? This is relative truth. This is not the real truth. Forget this drama. Come back. That's why when you listen to the real wisdom of Grandmasters, I'm talking about Patriji, I'm talking about Bhagavan, Ramana Maharshi, I'm talking about enlightened master, Nisargadatta Maharaj. When you talk about the real masters, Dadaji, who have attained the truth, absolute state, while they are living with the body, if you listen to some of those grandmasters, what they are saying is, they're saying it very clear. Whatever you are holding on, right? You got to let go. As long as you hold on, you are not that. You cannot let go. It's not easy to let go. In Patri, in one occasion, Patriji was asked, right? I don't know, maybe there is a video out there, but he said, you are putting so much time, so much effort, so much of your energy into this movement. You're building these pyramids, huge pyramids and all that, right? What happens like tomorrow something comes and then pyramid is washed away or pyramid cracks or whatever happens, right? There's a calamity that's happening in the nature. How do you take it? He said, I just walk away from it. Doing this work is my part. Whether it will sustain or not is not my part. That's nature's part. Look at the clarity in the way he has spoken of. He will just walk out of it. For something he has worked for 40 years, and he's saying that if something happens to it, he'll just walk out of it. without even looking back. That is the real wisdom. For us, even a smallest of the smallest thing happens, we talk about it for 50 times to everybody. Anybody you meet that day, this is the topic we put it out there, saying that this is what happened to me, that is what happened to me, this should have not happened to me, that should have not happened to me. What is our state and where the Grandmasters are? That's why it's a journey. So when I relate this experience, right? When I relate this experience, when masters are giving me the clarity, saying that this is what it is, and I come, I take the clarity, I sit in meditation. Now I have an experience. Okay, I come and I talk about my experience. Two things will happen, right? When somebody talks about experience, what happens? One, you will know that, oh, there is something like this in meditation. This can also be there. There is a state like this. There is a experience like this. There is a wisdom like this. You will also get in meditation. Number one. Number two, it will help you in understanding or getting a deeper state as to what this all about. Number two, which is more important, is you will start to see that, okay, maybe I should get inspiration, motivation, But did any of us have asked the question that, okay, whether this experience or the experiencer who is experiencing it, are they real? Are they truth? You will never ask that. That is the question that masters are saying, that go back to that root. Have the clarity within you when you are sitting for meditation. Ask the question, who is sitting for meditation? Then you will know who is experiencing. When you know who is experiencing it, there is a value to that experience, only to an extent. But do not take that into your life and try to become that. When you try to become that, you are out of truth. You are no longer in the path of truth. You may think here that you are in the path of truth, but you have lost the truth, touch of truth. That's why you see, when you talk about meditation, you have so many different variations of meditations. How did all those variations came from? How did they all come out? Why you have 100 and odd techniques, or you have like 1,000 different associations or societies who are doing meditation techniques in different ways? Why is all that? It's because it is in my limited capacity. I have tried to understand the truth the way I understood it, and I did my practice. I got an experience. Now I go and talk about that experience, and I think that is truth. Knowing is one thing, living is entirely a different thing. Entirely different. What Grandmasters and what scriptures are saying is, truth can only be lived. Then why talk about it? When truth can only be lived, why talk about it? Anyone? I'm actually trying to keep, because I'm looking at all these black screens. So I'm trying to make sure that you are attentive and you are watching, you're listening to the conversation. So I'm going to keep asking these questions to make sure that, there's some kind of a dialogue. It's like, I don't want this to be a monologue. With monologue, you get lost in the truth. So it always should be something that it's helping you to churn your engines, Why is that? Why is that you're lost?
So much attached to the present.
What is it? So much attached to?
So much attached to whatever things are happening in our life, and we're emotionally attached to everything. We're not in truth. So
In a way, I mean, that is your understanding. Yes, that is your understanding, right? But I think, it is also to the point where you need to start to accept that your understanding is not complete, right? That we don't agree to that. Most of the times, When somebody tries to give you a genuine experience, you try to attach or you try to connect your experience to that experience what the other person is talking about. But what masters are saying is, who is the one experiencing that experience? Have you ever looked at it? Is that real? We don't go that far. That is illusion. That's why we will never be able to live the truth. See, when the question on the table is, when you know that truth is only one, and truth cannot be taught, truth cannot be told, truth cannot be heard, right? Truth is only lived, experienced. Why talk about it? The reason why you talk about it is for us to understand just at a base level that there is something beyond my senses. Right now, my life is only with my senses. What my senses are seeing is what my life is all about. I don't have anything else. For any of us, it is our senses that bring that information back to the mind, and mind processes it and does it. And in the processing, it uses the intelligence to an extent, and that's how the life happens. But there is a state that is beyond all this drama, all this engine, right? There is something that's running this whole thing. If I have to talk about it, if I have to show about it, if I have to say about it, how do I put it in words? So that's why scriptures said, right? Scriptures, the Vedas have been asked these questions. Why are you here? Why do I need these Vedas? When I am that, what I am looking for, and I just need to go back into that, why are you here? And the scripture said, you have lost your identity. You do not know what you are, who you are. You do not know the purpose of your life. You think that eating, sleeping, having fun, living with the family, going to birthday parties and having, everywhere, going to cities and all, you think that is life. That is not life. That is a shameful life. What is the life? There is an essence. There is a greater purpose why you are here. You have lost the identity of that purpose and you are living in this illusion. To show you that there is something beyond the mind. There is something beyond that you cannot comprehend. I am here. Scriptures have said, Vedas have said, I am here because of that reason. I'm not here because to teach you anything. I'm here to tell you that the real happiness, the real peace, and real freedom is there if you are able to come back to your purpose. And that purpose, that living is what Grandmasters are showing us. Now, the $1 million question is, when I am living this truth, why do I need to talk about it? Right? Now, Patri is an enlightened master. Why he has to teach about enlightenment to everybody? Why he has to say that you are not a body, you are a soul? When he knows that everything is one in divine oneness. What I carry inside of me, you also carry the same inside. We are no different other than the form and name and form. If I take the name and form aside, we are all same. Because it is because of their compassion, their love, their gratitude towards the humanity that they come down and then they give you that wisdom. When they give you that wisdom, that is the real wisdom. What happens is that real wisdom gets lost in translation. Even in our society, truth is far beyond the reach of so many of us. But yet we experience it every day. Nobody is even looking back to say that, okay, I need to go back to that truth. That is giving me the peace, happiness, and freedom. If really each of us understand very well that truth, then we will not be doing any other practice other than the truth is all about. Have you ever seen Patri talk about any other meditation technique, any other way of meditation other than Anapanasati? Because that alone can take you into that absolute truth. No other technique that you are using can take you there. You must know the truth. You should know the truth. You should live the truth. That is the purpose why we are here. If you are not living by that code, then you are missing a significant portion of your life.
In the process of knowing the truth, we'll know the purpose, our purpose of life too.
Exactly. See, there is no Navya's truth, there is no Anil's truth, there is no, and I'm just using the names here, right? Bharati's truth or Rama Madam's truth, right? So many truths are not there. The truth is only one. You are connecting back to the truth. You're going back to that source. How you go is up to you. How you get there is up to you. You got to go back.
But each one will have their own purpose in their life, right? Each one will have their own purpose.
Exactly. Each one will have their own purpose, but there is a highest purpose for entire humanity. There is one and only one highest purpose. Highest purpose cannot be 10 things. But entire not for humanity, entire living beings coming from mineral kingdom, animal kingdom, plant kingdom, animal kingdom, and human kingdom. The purpose is only one. Highest purpose is only one. Know thyself. That's it. I am that I am. There is nothing else there. But for you to get there, you may have different purposes that you may have to achieve. It's a journey. That's why we say it's a journey. When we are saying that truth is outside the reach of the mind, what are you trying to do? Right? Is it not that simple that when scriptures are saying, Grandmasters are saying that truth is beyond the mind, what am I trying to do in sitting in meditation and doing in astral travel or doing some kind of magical things, that affirmations and putting manifestations, visualizations? What is all that?
Still trying to achieve the materialistic side.
What is that? Yeah, exactly. But then, do we have that knowledge when we are achieving it? We are lost in the translation. We are thinking that is truth. That's why knowing and living, two different things. You may have a clear understanding of truth to the extent what you need to know. Now the question comes to the table is, at that very point, what is that? You have like 20% of the truth you understood. How much of the 20% you are living? How much of the 20% you're practicing? That is the real question. When you ask that question, 99% will filter. That's why in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna said, there will be so many truth seekers. Millions of truth seekers will be there. In that millions and millions of them, only few, in hundreds, they will start to identify or understand the full. At least they get the picture as to what they have to do. And only in that, not even tens, maybe single-handed people will only be able to realize the truth. It is not easy because you are getting translation. You are lost in the translation. I am lost in the translation. When I am sitting and doing meditation today, okay, I'm saying that, okay, guys, let's start meditation. You and I will sit and then we'll all do meditation. No music, no sound, nothing. It is only in that inner silence you experience truth. If there is any external influence coming into you, then that is not truth. You cannot go into the deeper state when your mind is active. Because what scriptures are saying is truth is outside the reach of mind. That means you got to go beyond the state of mind. How do I go beyond the state of mind when my mind is active in meditation? Who will understand this? Right? And then someone else will come to you and then they'll say, today I did this meditation. This music was such a beauty. I just lost myself into it. And, I went here, I was there, I was seeing this, I was seeing that. There you go. And we clap. question is, who is the one seeing it? Who is the one going there? Who is the one enjoying it? What is the purpose why you are sitting in that meditation to begin with? Is seeing the purpose? The seer, seeing, and the seen has to become one, right? That's the purpose, right? What is the purpose of meditation? All three have to become one. When all three have to become one, when you are able to identify that I am the one seeing it, this is happening, and I am able to really see and go there and do this and all. What is all that? Is that the real state of meditation, or is it a false protection? I'm actually deviating. That's why Patriji, when people come and talk to them about their experiences, he says, if you really listen to him, the wisdom of Patriji's, if you really look at a grandmaster, the way they live, they do not say anything to anyone. They will just listen to your experience. That's it. Because they know that experience, the person who is sharing that experience is also an illusion. So they do not react. They will only respond. Good. They'll motivate you, saying that, yes, you should do more meditation. He will not ask you to go do this meditation, transcendental meditation. You go do light meditation. You go do, idle meditation, or you do, some kind of, concentrated meditation or manifestation. He will not talk anything like that. He will only say, no matter what may be your situation, wherever you are, in whatever state you are, he will only say one and one meditation. And that alone, we have to remind ourselves all the time, that alone will take you into that absolute truth, the real truth. Everything else is time pass. In the Master's words, you are wasting your time. You are thinking that you are doing sadhana, but you're not asking the question, who is the one who wants to do the sadhana? If I am that, I am. Who is the one asking me to go back into that? Right? So this is where we need to bring that wisdom. That is the reason why we have to keep listening to the truth all the time. He said, between the movements, you slip into that gap. Between the thoughts, you slip into that gap. That gap where you are slipping in is the absolute truth. You may not know it today. As you keep practicing it, you will get there. The very mind that is running this world is our first enemy and the only enemy. When will I know? When will you know? When will anyone know? When you start to observe your mind, when you start to look at your mind to say what is going on inside of you. Who has time? So, as more and more we bring this absolute truth into the life, the relative truth, absolute truth, do not confuse. This is 50%, this is 50%. If you are not able to put your time to absolute truth, knowing the absolute truth, or trying to understand the absolute truth, at least get to know how you want to get there, what you need to do, what practice I have to do, what grandmasters who have attained the truth are talking about. If you don't have those flavors of conversations and wisdom and all, you will always be lost in translation. You will be lost in time. Time is the most precious thing in this world, my dear friends. Time is the most, money is not precious. Time is the most precious thing. You sat on a 12-hour meditation and you went into an astral travel, or you did something with your mind and you have manifested, you have remanifested and re-manifested things and all. After you come back, you may have that beautiful 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, but if you really look at it, you have wasted 12 hours, because that is not the truth. Your intention was supposed to come back to the source, not to divert from the source. Right? And some may come to you and then say that, okay, I understand the truth, but right now I'm going through a situation, I want to come out of it. That is the reason I'm doing it. Then if that is the reason why you are in, then you will not be there for eternity. Then you will not be doing that for life. You will only do it for certain time until the problem is done. There is a time, right? You have to do only for that time. And after the problem is done, you come back to the source. Why am I getting carried away year and year, year after year, year after year, time after time? Because I am thinking in that experience what I got, that is what the real thing is. Lost in translation, lost in time. All right. Any questions, masters? I know this is a very, very deep subject, but we will have to analysis paralysis has to happen week after week, day after day, week after week, month after month, quarter, year after year. This is a journey. The more and more we spend time, with truth, the greater the possibilities that we are able to stay in the course. Staying on the course is half the battle. The other half is you are already there. Understanding is a very big thing. Staying on the course is a second big thing, and being into that's a third thing. Once you have that inclination to get to truth, it just matter of time. Any questions? No questions? Then thank you very much, masters. Thanks for your time, and we'll see you next week again with another topic. We'll talk more deeper in the sense of absolute truth versus relative. Maybe go into a little bit of a practice side of it. All right. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful evening. Take care. Bye-bye. Good night.
Thank you.
Good morning. Bye. Thank you.